will share my screen. So I guess one thing that I updated the pull request for the enhancement proposal for pod level checkpoint restore based on essentially the comments that we had last week and the discussion that we had during the meeting. One thing that I guess is the main change is that we defined not only the array as out of scope, but also GPU devices. And this is essentially something we're going to address in a follow-up CAP. So essentially at the moment, this is just out of scope. And the other thing that I want to check, there are a few other minor changes, but essentially it's this pod sandbox configuration. So this is also the comment that Mulab had. Essentially, what we discussed last week is that we want to leave as out of scope essentially changes to resources and other things that make things more complicated, but we still want to be essentially to use different pod UID and I guess other things that might change when we create a new pod essentially. So that's I just updated the comment for essential dispute, and this is pretty much. So I had a few minor changes in other places, but it's mainly just to make consistent with essentially the GPU checkpointing functionality being out of scope, and yeah, that's pretty much the changes here. And then so for this comment, I guess, Peter, we still continue with what we discussed earlier. So I guess we want to essentially use the in-tree approach, or is that something that we want to address again? Or
Yep, still in tree from my perspective. I haven't heard any reason not to.
yeah, it's just Kevin asking a question. Pretty much, it's not something that we have to. We don't have to make any changes.
Right.
And I fixed these typos. I removed this link, and for metrics, I guess I think I had metrics at some point. I was using example from Adrian's pull request for the container level checkpointing, but I'll try to add something in the cap. Do you have any comments about essentially the metrics that might be useful for checkpoint restore operations?
I haven't thought through it super thoroughly yet. I think that this is a fine set to start with, and then we can sort of maybe think a little deeper on it.
Yeah, I'll also have a look at what, for example, other features use, and for example, different APIs like the CRI API versus the kubelet API, and essentially I would try to find some examples, and yeah, I would try to add something here. Miwa, I'm not sure if I think yeah, I think I already addressed this one.
Yeah, we talked about the pod sandbox. Actually, I had a point on the metrics one, the previous comment.
Yeah.
So the metrics that you see, are all of these expected to be exposed via kubelet, or some of them? Do you think we need to figure out which metrics should be exported from the controller, the checkpoint controller, and which ones from the kubelet, or all of them are going to be from the kubelet? What's the
This is actually a good question for Peter, but I guess we have to find out what I guess metrics we need in general, and then we want to define the minimal set of metrics, I guess, that are necessary. But Peter, do you have any comments?
No, I think we don't have a clear. I don't think it's fully clear yet which is going to do what. I mean, I think it's pretty typical for the qubit to have these kinds of metrics, and so I guess the question is, does measuring them in the checkpoint controller give us any advantage over doing it in the kubelet? Like understanding what the time across the wire to the kubelet is potentially, but I think focusing on the kubelet to start because ultimately it's the one calling the checkpoint and restore done on the CRI.
Yeah, also essentially, if we have asynchronous operations, it might be easier to just essentially have these metrics measured on kubelet rather than in the controller. So I think we.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about this comment. So, one point that I wanted to bring up is we should clarify whether we are giving users to. So we have a leave running flag inside CRIU. I mean, we should be clarifying in the README that will they have the two options there as well, or if we decide not to give them and we always kill the process in those cases as well, we need to define it here in the README. And then about restore on the same node. So in those cases, when the original pod that was checkpointed moves out of the node, since we are only talking about restore on the same node as part of this step, chances are if the original pod moves out of the node, then we need to clarify the expectation that we will restore it where the checkpoint was taken rather than the original pod's current state, if that makes any sense.
So if I understand your comment correctly, there are two parts. The first part is, I guess, the leave running option that we have been discussing in the past. So essentially, we want to allow users to be able to specify whether after the checkpoint is created, the pod should continue running or should be left in a stop state or terminated. Peter, what do you think about this in general?
Yeah, I think we will probably want that knob on the checkpoint option.
Yeah. So I'll just update the README to clarify that we support essentially this. And I think we already have this options field that can be used to do that. So
I would actually say maybe not on the options field, because the options field, I think the point of it is to basically to be passed to the specific checkpoint, like implementer, basically, my understanding. So I think having a separate field for that might make sense.
So we sort of, the idea of the options field was to be a key value map so that essentially we can add additional options in the future rather than specifying each one in the CRI API. At least this is the idea. So,
yeah, but like, yeah, exactly. But my point about the options field is the key values. I believe the point of that should be passed to like CRI-U or gvisor as a way to customize their behavior rather than like have it be imperatively interpreted by the CRI implementation. Like, I think the options field stays generic when it's not something that the CRI is actually doing, but rather something that the underlying implementation is doing. And then it becomes like we branch on it when like we have a specific field in the API when we're actually going to do some behavior on it. Does that make sense?
So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to understand is you're suggesting that we add a new field that can be used to stop the pod, or we can use the existing field?
Yeah, exactly. We add a new field. If we want the CRI to do something, then I think we should have the then we should have it actually be an option in the CRI.
Okay, I mean, I will have a look at what the existing implementation looks like and try to think about it. And if you want, we can discuss it again next week. Or I was going to suggest that we can essentially discuss the proposal during the SIG-Not meeting.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think, yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. Okay, Miwap, I think we answered your comment question. Okay. And I think this is just a comment question from Dan. So I guess the restore from field is part of the pod specification, and we also have a kubelet endpoint. So these are separate things. And I think this is the question that he has here. So the question, essentially the line that he's referring to is the kubelet API endpoint. And then the restore from field is part of the pod specification. I think this is probably something that should be clarified here, but yeah. So I guess, Peter, as next steps, my understanding is that we should, because we're getting closer to the deadline, we should go, I guess, first through SIG-Node. Then would you suggest to go to SIG app or SIG architecture or SIG API machinery or any other?
Yeah, I think so the current proposal is very lean on what the checkpoint controller is going to be doing, and also doesn't currently include anything about the restore from, like what it actually looks like. Like it says like, oh, we're going to have the restore from field, but it doesn't actually say like what that is or what it's going to look like. So I think we want to include those things as well. I think, yeah, going to SIG-Node definitely makes sense. I mean, the pieces that we're presenting to SIG-Node, we haven't really.
If you want, I can work on this over the next today and tomorrow, and I can send you an update. So essentially to clarify how the restore mechanism works, and essentially to have a proof of concept implementation that we can essentially show that this is implementable. Does that make sense?
Yep, that makes sense to me. And I'm happy to also help with that. I have some time on my available to me to like help with working on the proof of concept and doing the reviews and stuff.
Yeah, I guess we can also send a message in the Slack channel just to update everyone as well. Okay, I think this is pretty much everything that I have. So I think we have pretty much complete version of the proposal, but as Peter suggested, it will be better to clarify the restore mechanism. And this is, I guess, the most important part of the proposal. And then we can think about how we can extend this with like GPU checkpointing support, and then live migration support, different support for different types of storage, and handling of TCP IP connections when we do migration. Yeah, Peter, what do you think in general?
Yep, that sounds good.
Okay. So should we end the meeting for today, or are there any other comments or questions?
I just had a small question regarding the timelines that we are trying to follow. So the thing is, if we are trying to go for alpha feature in 1.37, I mean, yes, we will have to follow the SIG-Node reviews and the POC part, but are we targeting any timelines? Do we have a set of issues ready to work on, or how are you approaching this?
Peter, if I remember correctly, the timeline should be somewhere around, I guess, the end of May, beginning of
Yeah, the
June.
timelines have been announced. It's actually June 10th, I believe, or something around there is PRR freeze, and then the week after that, June 17th, is the enhancement freeze. So we have that long to figure this out.
Okay, so the main thing is we essentially want to present the current proposal, and we want to ask people to review it, and hopefully we can get approvals for. Yeah, at least this is my understanding of the process.
Yeah, and I think like basically the idea about doing the presenting to different SIGs is just to like pre-get the approval. Or like, get consensus earlier.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, I think this is pretty much everything. So I will update the restore the section about the restore mechanism, and then I will get back to you, Peter.
Yep, that sounds good.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Yeah, I will end the meeting and hope you have a good day. See you.
Thank you.